again with you this week. I have a cute little helper with me. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi. We have a fun project to share with you. I put together this cute little Love Letters mini album, which is full of fun little things for my kids and my husband, just to tell them how much I love them. I love doing a little project like this around Valentine's Day. It's the perfect and very easy way to get a meaningful gift. So let's get started. Okay, so as I mentioned, I want to share with you a quick little Valentine's mini album. This is so simple to put together and so easy, and you really only need a few little supplies and it would just be the perfect little gift for Valentine's Day. So I'm just going to show you kind of the supplies that I pulled out for this. These are some journaling cards. They say, "Just a few reasons I love you." These are from One Little Bird Studios over at the Lily Pad, and they're 4x6, but I printed them down to about 3x4.5, I think it is. Just because I didn't want the full 4x6 size. I wanted it to be just a little bit smaller in my album. So these are the cards I'm going to write on these, write little love notes on these. I also printed out onto vellum, and I'm just going to show you, I have a piece here. So I order my vellum off of Amazon. That's the cheapest place I've seen it. And I print on my regular printer on the regular printer settings. So just like regular paper settings. I find that that's the easiest way to get like a good color or quality on there. You don't have to use the higher ink settings. So I printed 3 little embellishments that are also from the embellishment pack, or the Elements pack from One Little Bird. This is the Cherie, her new cards and collection that she just released, digital collection. So I printed one that says Adored. This one is the definition for cherish, and this one is the definition for devoted. So I printed them onto vellum, and my thought is that I'm going to add them in my album as like an overlay on top of my photo. So when you get to that particular photo, there'll be like an overlay on top of the photo. And so I also printed out 3 photos. So I have a photo of my daughter, a photo of my son, and then a photo of my husband with our kids. So those are the 3 photos that I'm going to use for this simple little album. It's not going to be too involved or complicated. I just want to do something cute and sweet for Valentine's Day. And a few other things that you'll need. You'll need a paper trimmer or some scissors, and then just a couple pieces of cardstock. So I'm going to cut my paper down to 6 inches high. This is 6 inches high, just like my pictures are 4x6. 6 inches high by 8 inches wide, and then you're going to score it right down the middle. So I'm just going to do that really fast with these other papers here. So this paper is 8.5 by 11. So I just have to cut off a 1/2 inch on either side, and then I'm going to score it right down the middle at 4 inches there. And, oh, that's not going to be, I need another piece. Cut this one at 6 inches. And then I'm going to cut off that 1/2 inch to make it 8. So books like these, this is just regular white cardstock that I pick up from Target. I think it's called like Neha or something, but it's a good white. It's not like a blue white. It's kind of like a creamier white. And that's what I print most of my journaling cards and stuff on. Okay, so now I have 3 of these papers. I'm just gonna fold them. So obviously if you're making it for your family and you have more than 3 people in your family, you might need a few more sheets, or if you want to add additional photos or cards or something like that, then you can do that as well. I'm just going to cut off just a little bit of this one. There we go. Okay. So what I usually do is just fold them together, make sure that my ends line up roughly at the same place. And now the next thing we're gonna do is just decorate the album. So I'm just gonna count my pages. Okay, so here's my thought. I'm gonna have a cover page for my album. I am going to have an intro page on this side. Here I'm going to do a photo and a card, and then I'm going to repeat that 2 more times. Photo and a card, and then a photo and a card, and then this last one I'm gonna have like an end page, and so that's pretty much gonna be the gist of the book there. So before I go ahead and adhere everything down, what I want to do with my photos and these overlays is I'm actually going to take them over to my sewing machine really fast, and I'm going to sew them together with my photos. So I'm going to sew right here along this line. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can use a stapler. You can keep this part out. This is just an extra little part that I wanted to add in. So you obviously don't have to do that. The album or the little book would be still so sweet without them. But I'm going to sew them into place. If you have a sewing machine, I'm just going to sew right down the middle, and I'll be right back. As you can see, I sewed just down the left-hand side, just kind of like a page in a book. And the only thing I'm going to do now is just to make sure that it flips well. Before I add it into the album, I'm just going to crease it just along that sewn line right there. It'll still lay flat, but I just want to make sure that you can flip it easily in the little book. There we go. So those are the 3 of those there. And now I'm just going to get my adhesive and take these other pages and adhere them into the book, leaving a place at the front and then a place at the back. So now that the vellum is sewn to the photos, really the only thing left to do is to start putting together the album. On this first page here, I am going to run to my typewriter really fast, and I just wanted to type something just on this front page. Okay, so here I just went to I have an electric typewriter, and I just typed just a little bit of journaling. It says love letters to the 3 most wonderful people I know on the front. So that's going to be the kind of like title page of the book. And when we put it together, I'm just going to use a piece of patterned paper. I have this paper. This is from Maggie Holmes' New Bloom collection, and I just like the polka dot. So I just trimmed out a paper to the same size as the other papers, and then just added it right over the top. So this will be the cover. I wanted to add, so I'm going to adhere this piece to this one just to make it a little sturdier. I just wanted to add a little bit of interest to the cover instead of just keeping it plain white, but you could completely do like a plain white cover there. And I wanted to share with you just a few ways. I think I'm going to stack my pages together just like that, just lay them right on top of each other and line up where where they're folded there, and sew down the middle just to make a sewn book. But just a couple ways that you could put this book together if you don't have a sewing machine. So you could take this page and each page and then adhere them back to back. So if you just lay them flat side by side and then take the two, one right side and one left side, and some adhesive, and then you're going to adhere them back to back like that. And then you're going to take your next page, back side, well this wouldn't be the back side, but the back side, that one, and the back side of that one, and adhere them like that. So you would have and just keep going with however many pages you have there. That would totally work. Or if you like this format, where they're just stacked together, you could take your hole punch, punch a hole like an inch up here and an inch up here, and then thread a ribbon through there, and you can tie it at the end, which I might do. I haven't really decided, but just wanted to share with you a couple different ways that you could put your book together if you do not have a sewing machine. I use my sewing machine on paper all the time, but I know not everybody has one. So now I'm just going to put adhere my photos in. All of the photos are now adhered onto, I just adhered one onto each front, and then, since I only have 3, I just adhered the third one onto the back. So when I go to finish up and add in the extra little details, I'm gonna add a card over here on this side. I'm gonna maybe add some washi or something like that, and then just write in here just a few of the reasons I love you. So kind of just like a little love letter. I'm gonna add that there. And so then this is what I did for the front that I typed up. And I'm just gonna go over to my sewing machine really fast and just sew the book down the spine. So I don't have too many pages, so I think it's gonna sew just fine. If you have, I don't know, if you have like 10 pages, if you use a sewing machine, I'm not sure, you might have to use like a denim needle or something that can get through that thickness. So I'll be right back. Yay, it worked. So I sewed right here, you can't really see, but I just sewed right down the middle, making sure to backstitch right around the edges, just to make sure it's nice and snug. So there you can see a little book. That's the finished book, or not the completely finished, but the sewn book. And you could totally use the other ways I said, punch holes here, or either adhere the pages back to back to create a book that way. So here on the front, I struggle with covers, and for this one I'm going to keep it super simple, and I'm going to use one of these super fun fringe hearts from the new Maggie Holmes Bloom collection. It's going to add a fun, playful element, and it's going to keep it in that love Valentine's theme. So I'm just gonna, this is a little stitched heart here, the fringe here. I'm just gonna try to give it just a little bit of movement. They are a little attached together. So I'm just gonna try to separate those just a little bit without, there we go. And I'm gonna add that to the center of my album, little tiny love letter album. And then really the only thing left to do is to add my cards here. So I have my 3 cards here, so I'm gonna adhere them over here to this side. And I might go back and add a little bit of washi tape or something to hold them down. But for right now, I'm at least going to use adhesive just to make sure that they stay in there. So I think washi tape is great and really pretty and decorative, but I want to make sure that these things in here, these cards stay in here. So I'm just going to use some permanent adhesive, and I'm just adding a little bit to the back. And then I will go in and handwrite my journaling. After they are added, I am resisting the urge to type because I love typed journaling. But I think it probably will be a little bit more personal if I handwrite. And so the last page here, I'm just gonna bend it back a little bit so it'll open up a little better for you. For this last page, I have some of these other Sherry printable cards that I printed from Peppermint, or Peppermint Grandberg, but of One Little Bird. So I think I'm just gonna add this one over here on this side with a handy dandy paper clip. think I'm just gonna add a gold paper clip just to hold that in place right there. And then the last thing that I want to do before I add my journaling is I just have a date stamp here, and I'm just going to date this card. Make sure I have the right year because I do that all the time. I'm just going to date the bottom of this stamp card, or stamp the bottom of this card, February 14th, 2016. And I was thinking that I might go and add, these are some gold lowercase stickers from the Maggie Holmes Balloon Collection. And I was gonna add in a letter for each of my kids on their card, just to give it a little interest. So I'm gonna add a D there for my son, and then I'm gonna add an A for my daughter. I think I'm gonna put it on this side just to maybe try to balance out that thickness of the book so it's not on the same side. And then for my husband is, I'll grab an S here, and I'm gonna put it over here on that side. And there we go. I think I'm gonna leave it just like that, and then just go add in the rest of my journaling on those parts right there, and the book will be all finished. So cool. I hope you guys will make one for your family and your loved ones. It's super fun just to get some thoughts down and write little love letters, especially around Valentine's Day. So it's the perfect little gift for, I don't know, a grandmother or a mom or a friend, or just anybody to show them how much you care about them and how much you love them. So there you go. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help you out.